Today we're speaking about the power of togetherness and keeping your dreams alive. In the end, we all become stories. What's your story? On this episode of Hey Heart 143, I speak with Kristine about her show Candid, Koffee. We also talk about dreams, holding on to your dreams, and lessons and stories you want to be remembered by. She also gives us amazing tips on self-love, self-care, and daily practices. Here's Kristine. This is Hey Heart 143 with Natalie Togetherness. 143 means I love you. Together we're learning to love ourselves and stay in love no matter what life throws at us. We are constantly evolving, changing, growing emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And we have to remember to check in with our own heart as we're propelled forward. When you love your own heart, you heal better, you do better, and you live a more fulfilled life. Welcome back, everyone, to Hey Heart 143. I have with me in studio, it's so nice to be back in studio today with Kristine Kumuryan, aka Vintage Chris.
I'm so happy to be here. Second time doing my podcast, and I'm very, very excited. You're the second lady who invited me, so I'm very happy to be here. It's very fun, exciting.
It's so exciting to meet you, and I was like, I need to get to know this girl. I need to bring her on my podcast, and we connected just for a couple of minutes, but
it was magical.
It really was. So we met at Women Moving Mountains. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the event? I was just brought in as a +1, and it was so incredible. It was really my first time ever going to a networking event with Armenian women, and I've been saying I want to connect more with the community, with the Armenian community, and my girlfriend Janine, who I think your daughter bought a bag from her.
Yes, she gifted one for her. Aww. It was so sweet. She loves her bag, and it was such a great collection of women kind of coming from 3 different outlets. So it was me, Lucina, and Ruzan. Lucina is the owner of Mirai Collections, she's like a hub for Armenian artists, accessory makers, jewelry makers from Armenia and from here, most of them from Armenia. Myself, who I am the creator and host of Candid Koffee, and then Ruzan, who is a owner or like founder of Aid Beyond Borders, which is an amazing charity organization that helps Armenians near the Azeri border who have very limited means, and they're living in very impoverished areas, sometimes with no heaters, no running water. They literally depend on firewood to keep warm during the cold winters in Armenia. So I've just known these women for a while, and I was blessed to meet them through my show. This show has brought so many incredible women to my coffee table. Yeah. And for me to shake hands with them and say, wow, you're amazing, and please tell me your story. So it all stemmed from that. So all of them I met through my show. And so we got together, and I was like, I know it's a little crazy, but if we can get a space where it's outdoors and people feel comfortable, and we're at, we go with the guidelines, let's invite around 50. I would have wanted 100, but we got about 45 to 50 women in one place, and we did that event. And it was for networking, because it's all about promoting businesses, but it was also just to be like, hey, you're so cool, I love what you're doing, and I love your product, and I love what you stand for, and let's shake hands. And we probably end up meeting somebody we know through our modkud or our neighbor or our friend or whoever it is, which we did. So I found you and instantly connected with you, and here I am.
What was really beautiful for me was just meeting so many women that were like, oh, this is my friend, this is what she does, look at how amazing her business is. And just all these women coming together and promoting their friends, telling me this is what do you do, how can I help you, how can we work together. And it's just been so draining to be so alone during COVID, to get out and meet new people. I was telling my cousin, I was like, I feel so much happier today. I met so many new people. And I'm so grateful for that.
Absolutely.
And it's so amazing. Like, as once we get through this pandemic and start living our life, it's never going to be the same. Like, we're just going to feel, or at least me, I'm going to feel so grateful for every little thing that we go to, every event, every human interaction, everyone we connect with.
Yes. And it's not to sound cheesy or mushy or anything. It really felt so good. And some people did call and say, I'm really sorry I can't come, or I don't feel comfortable. A couple people were a little bit sick, with other issues, and they didn't want to put themselves at risk.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But whoever did come out, it was so great to like shake hands and hug and just be normal and all that. And we have probably taken it for granted before, but it just feels really, really great.
Yeah. When we were talking, for the little bit that we were talking, I gave you like the quick elevator pitch of what I used to do in my past, what I do now, all around entrepreneur. And I said, I miss storytelling. And that's kind of what led me to this podcast, among a bunch of other things. I called it my big life plot twist had to happen for me to do this. And then you showed me your tattoo, and I swear I got chills. Can you talk about your tattoo and what that means for you, and let's go from there.
Well, I have a few, and a few of them are very much Armenian related. The symbol is the eternity symbol for Armenia. It's called the Arevachach. And I wanted to incorporate that in like the middle of my back where it's centered. And then also have a quote that says, in the end, we all become stories, which to me is like the it thing for me, because it's like, after you're gone, you may have children or you may not. You may have loved ones that you leave behind, or family and friends and things like that. But they're the ones who are going to continue your story, and you have to have a story worth telling. So I kind of got that in a time where I was really trying to just get myself together. And it was kind of like a reminder. And not that I needed to put it on my skin to remind me, but it really resonated with me at that time. And I was like, this means so much to me. And I think we all have a story to tell. And a lot of times you don't even know that person's story, and they're so wonderful. They're so amazing. And so many people have told me their stories without me even poking or asking, and they'll open up to me and tell me all kinds of very, very, very personal things. And I'm so grateful for that. And it just really like grounds me every time somebody tells me their story. Yeah. Because you're like, wow, like you're so cool, and you're so sweet, and you're so wonderful, and you have this big smile on your face, but like you went through some pretty...
We carry a lot.
Yes.
We carry a lot with us.
Pretty heavy stuff.
Right before we talked about that, I was speaking with somebody else about we all have a story to tell. And I've had so many people tell me, like, as a journalist, my job was to tell other people's stories. And I never spoke about my own. And speaking about my own is what kind of brought me here.
Right.
And just like you said, the meeting people, like, it's just been so beautiful.
Yes.
Just setting up interviews and sharing stories and meeting people. I want you to talk a little bit about Candid Coffee and who you've met doing it, and what exactly started it for you.
Oh, it's a long story.
That's Candid Coffee with a K.
Yes, Candid with a K, Coffee with a K. It stemmed, like, the biggest, like, aha moment inspiration for me was when we were going through the revolution in Armenia, which was March, April, May of 2018, right? So it was such an incredible time. Pashinyan aside, whether he stays in office for a long time, whether you still love him now or not, whether you still believe in him or not, that's all politics. I don't want to get into that. But as far as the movement of the uprise of the people, the unity of the people, the saying, I'm not going to take this anymore, and we're going to decide who's going to, sit in that chair. That was the most inspiring thing to me, because it was like one amazing thing after another after another. I mean, you saw these kids like helping their parents, these moms with strollers protesting, these amazing chants, all peaceful. Not one person, not one knife hit someone's skin, not one bullet was shot. And it was so amazing, and it was so inspiring to me at a time when, number one, I missed my home so much. I hadn't been to Armenia since 2005.
Did you go that year?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't. I wanted to so bad, but I went later to interview people, which I'll tell you about. And I was just like, wow, this is so inspiring. This is so amazing. It's all anyone would ever talk about, because my community is so big. The Armenian community that I have on Instagram and Facebook, it's so big. It was like just post after post, and I was just fueling this love and this energy. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, I'm so tired of like doing what I'm doing, and I had lost my job at the court, and I was really feeling down, and I was going through some emotional stuff and mental stuff and personal stuff, and it was kind of like an avalanche of like really shitty things happening to me at that time. And
was it kind of like a rock bottom for
you?
you?
It was a huge rock bottom for me. Yeah, it was really bad. I think all of 2018 was like the worst year of my adult life. But I called a couple of people that I know in the industry. One of them was a young man, super amazing speaker. His name is Rafael Manatsakanyan, and he's an Armenian news reporter and poet, and he's a great speaker.
Okay.
I said, I really want to do something where I can interview someone, whether it's right in the Armenian Weekly, whether it's just start writing and submit it to any magazine or newspaper.
Like local publications.
Yeah, just do something to write about Armenians. Or like, I liked podcasts, but I wanted something, if it was going to be audio or something like that, I wanted to have a visual as well. And he's like, it's nice that you want to write, but trust me, honey, no one's going to give a shit about you writing something on a hard copy piece of paper. Or online, they might like read a couple things and they'll just brush it off and go watch Netflix or something. Which we're all guilty of, right? We don't really read that much anymore. And I was like,
I think we like things being fed to us.
Yes. And I
things
was
we
like,
can do while multitasking.
Yes, exactly. And I love podcasts because you could listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to do something that was just audio. So I wanted something that incorporates pictures, a backstory, a current story, possibly a future, foreshadowing kind of thing. Something that was literally like a little autobiography about a person, as much as I could cram into 30-40 minutes. And so I used to watch a show called Intimate Portraits on Lifetime a long time ago. Kind of giving away my age right now. But
age is just a number.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm such an old soul when it comes to that. Anyway, so it was a show called Lifetime Intimate Portraits. And I was like, this is so cool, because they're talking... First of all, the person being interviewed is talking into the camera, like he or she is talking to the viewer, plus they have pictures and things like that. So I was like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do the whole newspaper thing or the podcasting. This is what I want to do. And I just found Autumn, and I said, I know this is crazy, and you have like so much other stuff on your plate.
Is that your photographer?
My videographer, yeah. And I said, can you please do it for me? And I think when he saw what I wanted and we applied it and we did it, he was like, wow, this is really cool. And we're such a good team.
It's so important to have that chemistry.
Yes, he understands me. I'll throw ideas at him. I'm like, what do you think of this? And I try not to overwhelm him, because he has like 2 other jobs on top of whatever he's helping me with, but it just works so well. And once I started getting a little bit of positive feedback, like come on, it was like, oh, okay, good, and it's growing. It takes a long time to build your audience.
Yeah, but isn't that so beautiful to hear back from people and say, this is what I need, this is what we need right now. There is nothing like this out there, or thank you for sharing this story.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. That's what means the most to me. Oh, and to tie it together, by the way, you're like, probably, what is she talking about with the revolution? I wanted to show Armenians in that good light, in that positive light, that we're just kind of... Oznavod had just passed away as well. I was like, well, who's really left? I mean, besides people knowing about Kim or Cher, there's so many amazing Armenians that just like barely get screen time.
Yeah. That
they don't know about, but they're out there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you are really known or just starting out or whatever it is that you're doing. I just wanted that fuel of that Armenian pride and everything that was going on with the revolution to continue, hopefully through my show, as that being a little outlet for that.
That's such a beautiful thing, because, like, come to think of it, I lived in a tiny little town in Nebraska, my first job in television news. Natalie Tavidian, and I'd get so many, Tavidian, what's that?
Yeah.
Where are you from? And I would say Armenian, and I mean, I don't blame anyone. It's not like they went to Armenian schools like me, learning about the history every single day. But people, like, I would have to throw some names out there and keep going, and then I'd be like, okay, the Kardashians. Like, oh, okay, I get it. And like, that can't, they're, you know, they do great things for the Armenian cause too, but that can't be the only
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've had that conversation with Gary Chavich, which I just mentioned to you. He was in Idaho.
Okay.
And he had to explain what an Armenian is and where we are on the map. And so many other Armenians who have gone abroad or somewhere else other than LA or New York, where we are, had to explain what we are.
Yeah. And why we're all over the place.
Right. Right. Absolutely. But you have to. It's kind of like your job to be a reporter for your people.
Yeah.
So that's how I saw it.
What are some of the stories that have stood out to you, or the people you've met? I mean, I'm sure everyone you meet has such a wonderful story, but what sticks with you?
I love every single person that I interview, especially the ones that are so humble. I love all of them. It's like picking your favorite child. But
or maybe like someone that, and I'm sure you've learned lessons from everybody that you meet, but a big lesson that you've learned from someone.
I'll give you one male and one female.
Okay.
The male one was last year. I interviewed a young man named Arman Vardanyan. Okay. Who was a veteran of the 4-day war in Armenia. Okay. And he shared with me his experience in a possibly life-ending situation, very life-threatening, very, very sad situation where he was stuck in the tank and there's like bombs going off and everything like that. So we lost 106 people during that war. And I told the story of him, and I also kind of paid homage to the rest of our soldiers who either gave up their life or at least went and fought for us and came back home.
Had he told his story before?
He had told his story through AUA, our American University of Armenia. He's a representative for the university, and he had told his story a couple of places for them. But it was the first time that he was telling, I guess, somebody that has like a YouTube channel or something like that. So it was really awesome because he's such a good man, and we really connected, and I felt so much love for him for doing what he did. And also because coincidentally my cousin in Armenia was at the front lines of that exact war. They didn't come across each other at that time, but they've
crossed paths before.
Yes. Yeah. So that was really sad and emotional, but it had a happy ending because he came out and he's doing great things. And another one was Talaj Koseyan. She befriended me so quickly and we clicked so well. She's like, there's like maybe 12 or 13 years difference between our age, but she is like my soul sister. When we connected, I was like, wow, you're so great, you're so amazing. And she was telling me a lot of things about her life. Some of it she shared on the show. But I love when, even past the time that we interview and I hand them their interview that's done, I love when we stay friends and they check in on me and we become friends, and it's organic and it's not like they have to or there's any obligation. So I just love when people become friends with me through my show, and I can actually say she's someone I call a friend, and she comes over and we have wine and cheese night. So I love beautiful. That. Yeah.
How can people find Candid Coffee?
Best way to get any updates on it, and it's a lot of fun. I put trailers on my stories. I put like 60-second trailers on my feed on Instagram. It's vintage_Kris, Kriss. And there you can see everything from my, personal, a little bit of my personal life, a lot of memes I post, a lot of funny things I post, a lot of inspirational things I post. So that is like the biggest representation of my personality, and everything Candid Coffee related is up to date on there. Like as soon as the video drops, it's on there. You'll know right away. And the current link, which is Tenny Panosian, she's on my bio.
Yeah, I was listening to her on my way here. Vintage Chris, where did that start from in your modeling career? And you've been published.
Oh, wow.
Talk about that.
It's been amazing, and I love it so much. I didn't have doubt as to how well I could do, but I had some doubters as to how that's gonna go. And mind you, I'm 4'10", 4'11" on a good day without heels. I'm like 128 pounds. I'm not a runway model, but I found this niche where I look really good in vintage clothes, or I represent vintage clothes really well with Sazuma. I put it together well. I really enjoy wearing like timeless pieces from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, not so much. Once it gets into the disco era, I'm just like, nah, I can't do bell bottoms.
I love your outfit today.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is something that I actually wear all the time, and I love it so much. And I shop vintage places, either if it's like pre-worn or brand new. There's so many great boutiques that are new or old clothes here in Burbank, and I've worked with several of them. I've been published with several of them. I may be contracting something soon with one of them. I'll announce it once it's for sure, because I want to have one company that I stick with.
Yeah.
I love all of them. I've tried different ladies who have designed. This is actually a custom-made dress from Cressida Couture. I'm going to mention her. I'm going to give her a shout-out. She is this Hispanic Latina girl who was raised in Compton, and she became a seamstress, yeah. And this dress is super, super vintage. It's so cute. And she's like, Chris, would you wear it onto one of your shows? I was like, sure. I wore it to a PLS interview that I did, and then I'm wearing it now. I just love when people come together and that we can collaborate on things that we mutually love. Like, I'm not gonna wear or talk to or interview anybody I don't genuinely like and feel a connection with. So yes, I've been published a few times. I'm trying to get some more like bigger magazines in the future. I think it'll happen because there's a market out there. Like, everyone has their little thing.
I think when you are authentic to who you are, you attract that. It comes to you. And that's something I've discussed a lot on this podcast with a lot of people, is finding that authenticity, is kind of letting go of all the layers and the masks and everything we're holding, and just be you. I loved seeing that at our brunch on Sunday too.
Yes.
Each lady there, they were their own unique individual person. Everyone had a style, everyone had a niche, and it just came together so beautifully.
It's going to be so awesome. It's going to be even better next time. We're going to have microphones so we can actually talk to people and tell them about ours. And we don't have to be like, can anybody hear me? You know, like, it was a wonderful turnout. And I love when people are, like you said, their authentic self, and you can tell, like, what makeup musics, they're different. So it's I love that about us. And we're going to make this setback into such a big comeback for everybody. That's my goal, and that's the goal of the other ladies.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Let's
we
make
need
the
it.
setback a big comeback.
Yeah, we really need to make a big comeback, and we will. It just takes a little time.
Yeah.
People are scared.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know how long this is gonna last. And we need to keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
While being safe.
Look how fast this year went by. I cannot I mean, we always say that, like, oh my God, the year went by so fast. It's almost Christmas. But it really did. Even through all this crap.
I just have to check the date. We're recording on September 1st.
Exactly. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting for stuff to open or this or that. Like, uzmes ari, chesuzum, no problem.
Yeah.
But this needs to happen. It needs to happen again. It needs to happen again. You know, if we can have restaurants open, why can't we have such a powerful and positive thing come together for that's going to have a bigger outcome than just going and having a salad somewhere? Well, we had salad there too, but we had khoramat, we had mimosas. It was awesome.
I had mimosas in months. Good. It was nice to just get out again and meet so many people.
I'm so glad.
Kristine, what story would you want to be remembered by, or what kind of lessons would you want your viewers to get from you? What do you? Yeah, in the end, we all have stories.
Yeah.
So what is?
You know, I always I watched and I loved Joan Rivers, God rest her soul.
Loved her.
I loved her so much. Yeah. She was like my biggest mentor. Number one, because I loved fashion, and number two, because I just loved the runway and the red carpet and the gossip. Not the gossip, but like the joking and the sarcasm and like the spicy little things she would say. She was so awesome. And I would sit there and watch that, and I was like, wow, you know, I wish I could do something like this. I wish I could either be a reporter or like talk about fashion, or maybe even walk the runway as somebody, maybe a daytime show host, something where I feel like this is where I belong, because that's what I felt genuinely. And like, I have 2 little girls, and it's super, super tough being a mom, but I don't only want to be loved and admired as or remembered as a mom. I'm also a woman. I'm an